Guys, welcome to MilGoalKee Podcast. And today we have an open seat, which means we have an open guest. Alex,
Special guest. Very special guest.
You want to top it off and start it off real quick to the person I have to my left?
Yes, sir. Today we have, sorry again if I'm butchering this, man. I'm guessing the first name it's pronounced Aleksandar.
Yep.
Aleksandar Leki Prpa. Today I just asked him earlier too. I was like, how do you pronounce? Because dude, it's like if you're learning a new language, you know,
you're good. It was perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason why we brought him in today is because obviously the Serbian community, it's so big here in Milwaukee, especially in the soccer community.
I feel like it's getting bigger too. Like more
every year,
you know?
yeah, you hear about like the Serbs,
yeah.
But yeah, Leki, 2-time All-Conference selection from Skigo High School, 2-time Male Student of the Year award for Parkside Rangers, all GLIAC first team forward, Google Cloud Academic All-District first team, Co-SIDA Academic All-America first team, Scholar All-American named by USCA and USCA All-Midwest Region first team. And those are just some, like I told you before.
We were driving here and Alex was like, bro, I think if I start naming all his accomplishments, I'm going to talk about it for like 2 or 3 minutes straight.
Yeah, it's like, I like when schools do that because they like, you know, put everything out there.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't see a lot of that.
No, that's good.
Yeah, very special guest today.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. You know, it's an honor to honestly be on the podcast. It's cool what you guys are doing. I really like it. So happy to be here.
Good to hear. Bernie.
The first question for me is, a lot of people might not know you. A lot of people probably know you already. Who is Leki Prpa?
Cool. So as he said, my full name is Aleksandar Prpa, but everyone calls me Leki. And yeah, I grew up, I was born in Milwaukee. My parents are Serbian, so I grew up with the Serbian community, was really tied with the church, and I played club soccer growing up in Milwaukee, went a couple years in Chicago, but then made my way back, and I went to college at UW-Parkside, played soccer there, had a good time, we had a good team. We won the conference, I think, my senior year, and we went to NCAA tournament. And then now I'm in law school at Marquette, and I still play soccer in all the leagues, WSL with the Serbian team. We were in UPSL last year, and pretty much just playing every league I can find in the Milwaukee area. Whoever calls me, I'm always down to play.
That's good.
Yeah, that's why we brought him, because to this day he still plays and he's still pretty good and competitive. Question, you mentioned your parents are Serbian. What part of Serbia do you guys come from?
So it's a little complicated, but my parents, so they're Serbian, but they come from a village in Bosnia called Bosansko Grahovo.
Okay.
And so the interesting thing is...
I can't say that.
Yeah. So there's a fun fact, though, about the village. Or
go ahead, bro.
That the guy that started World War I is from the village. He, like, killed Franz Ferdinand, which ended up, like, triggering the events that started World War I. Okay. It's, like, a really small place in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of funny that he's from there. But, yeah, anyway, so my dad actually, his parents moved, and he was born in England. And then he was there for a couple of years and came to the U.S., while my mom came when she was like 9, straight from Grahovo to the U.S.
But I've always wondered this, like, coming from us too, like, our parents were born not in America, but we've always questioned our parents, like, why Milwaukee? Have you ever asked your parents, like, why Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Like,
yeah, I did actually, and I honestly don't think I have the actual answer, because I know, like, both my grandpas came because of their brothers.
Okay.
So, like, their brothers were already here, and they ended up just getting to Milwaukee. I don't know their reason for coming.
Okay.
But they came to Milwaukee because their brothers were already here.
Gotcha. Yeah, kind of the same thing with us, right?
There's no real answer to it. It's just like...
Pick the place with the worst weather. 70 degrees yesterday, and then we get snow today. Polar's got every season in one day. Who would have thought?
First question I would have, if you want to follow up on anything else when we want to ask him, is born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What was it like growing up as a Serbian in Milwaukee, and what does the community represent to you in your regular life and in your soccer life? Because I know you guys always talk about the church. No, I'm wondering, like, their religion is like they're very tied together when it comes to the church. So, can you give us a little bit of explanation of what that experience was like at growing up, basically?
Yeah, I guess one little background thing is Serbian people the religion is very tied with how the people are and the culture of the people. And so that's a big part of growing up. I went to the church school. That was the first thing I did. I started school there at 4 years old, I think.
That's where we played
Friday? Yeah, where we play the Friday night league in that building. Yeah. So there's a school there. It goes up through 8th grade. And I went through 5th grade, and then I moved to public school closer to where I live. But just growing up there, I got to meet, a lot of Serbian people. I grew up with people that I'm friends with now. We hang out. And it's just really... It's cool to have, especially in the U.S., because we're outside of Serbia, where people are speaking Serbian. You're learning about the culture, and it kind of helped me grow up and actually feel like I have a tie. Like I actually grew up in Serbia, even though I didn't. And so it kept the culture for me and helped me learn the language. Because without that, I don't think I would have learned, just because all I spoke was Serbian until I was like 5 years old. But then as I started going through school and just meeting other people playing soccer, not everyone spoke it. And so I think just having that we have a big community in Milwaukee, it really helps keep the culture going. And I think the soccer is what connects everyone. It kept us all around. It really does. Because it gives you a reason. It gives you a reason to come back. Otherwise, you go to your whatever you have up there. Say you go to church, you leave, but then no one's hanging around. There's nothing going on. And I think the cool thing about the Serbian community is our soccer team, we get a lot of support, and the fans show up, and it's just turns into an all-day event. Yeah. And I know even with, we just had our tournament, and it was nice. We had, I think, probably one of our biggest turnouts, especially with more and more teams are joining every year, and more people are hearing about it, even with the Mexican community in Milwaukee. We're getting, it's kind of cool to see all these different people showing up to this tournament we have.
Yeah, before we get into the tournament, which, again, this year, by the way, is probably the best one I've seen so far.
It's been...
I want to ask you, like, growing up, like you said, in the Milwaukee community, you guys stay close. As for the teams, like I see, for example, in this tournament, you had your own team. There was some Serbs with other teams. Mm-hmm. Is there any, like, tension between that, or does it just stay on the field?
So it's a little bit of a complicated question, but there is some tension. I think most people, it's not a big issue, just because I think, all of us, we have just so many different ranges of levels between everyone that's played soccer. You have guys that have played college, guys that didn't play college, got some guys that played high school, some guys that didn't even play high school. And so there's just such a range of guys, and there's only so many people that you can have on a team, that it's kind of turned into, at least for these tournaments, which have avoided the issues for us. Instead of, if you have noticed, we don't have a club, the majors doesn't have a team for the tournament, just because it's hard to pick 8 to 10 guys from the team, and then someone's getting left out. Yeah. And so it's kind of easier for us to just break away, make our own teams, and everyone's happy, and we all, we cheer for each other. And we were lucky that none of the Milwaukee teams ended up having to play each other this year. But but young boys did well. They got to the final.
Yeah, and, they really did.
Sad they lost the Chicago team, but I know we'll get more into the tournament. So
question for you. So I like to break it up I know we can't stay here for 3-4 hours, but I like to break it up into phases in your life. So what was the soccer experiences for Leki as a kid? I'm talking about youth age till before high school, like middle school days. Like, what was your life like in the soccer?
Yeah, so I grew up playing for United Serbian Youth Soccer Club. That was the first team I played for. My dad was the coach when I first started, and then Stefan and Deo's dad, Milan Rokvic, he started coaching my team, and then my dad ended up coaching my brother's team. But it was cool growing up. We had I would say it was a mainly Serbian team. Kind of all my parents, like their friends that had kids, were all my age, and so that's what filled our team. But then the struggle, I guess, started coming. We did well, and then it got to the age where we don't have enough Serbian kids to field the full team, at least to stay competitive. And we'd have tryouts, and the American kids or anyone else we couldn't get. A lot of people thought you had to be Serbian to play for the team, which really wasn't true. And so growing up, we had a really good core from me in the youth soccer aspect. And I think that's what really developed me into the soccer player I am. I think that original core we had, you had my cousin Andrea, who's playing in Serie B, Italy, professional.
We're gonna get to all that.
Pretty much all of us. And I think
We did our research on that.
Yeah, like I think the core of us like all played college soccer, which like if you think like having a United Serbians youth soccer club team where 5-6 guys of that core all ended up making it college with the statistics that they are today in the U.S. It's pretty difficult to make it to college soccer. I think that's pretty impressive, and I think what helped us was our dads were just so committed and they trained us well. And I think the bond we had to the Serbian community pushed us, wanting us to be better and kind of showcase the Serbian people and Serbian culture to other teams we played really pushed us.
I think that when you mention like family, like supporting and being there, I think it's very important. We see that a lot in the Latino side too, where if a 12-year-old kid has a game, the whole household goes to see. And I've noticed that even in the adult stage of our life in games where you guys have a game or something, I notice, who's that guy over there? Oh, that's this guy's dad, and he's playing, and they're already like 25, 20, older like you guys. Your pops is there. I've seen your dad too. It's just like somewhat we can relate to that as well, and that's pretty cool that you started at such a young age like that, and till this day you guys are still connected.
Yeah,
so
you definitely see it, cool, especially when I go to the the Mexican leagues around Milwaukee. You'll see the families show up, and they're all there.
The kids running around with the iPad.
They definitely. It seems like, I don't know if it's like how it is. You guys probably better know, but it almost seems like, at least when I played in the like Sunday leagues, the Saturday leagues, it's like a family outing. Just take the whole family and hang out there, watch games, talk to people. It's pretty cool.
That you made what you guys had with the Serbian youth club. It sounds like that was you guys too, right? Like that was your way of connecting as well.
It really was, yeah. We would go, tournaments were our vacations all growing up.
Dude, yeah.
And my parents, luckily for them, all their friends had kids that were my age or my brother's age, so we would all go to the same tournaments and we'd just be hanging out all the time. Weekends we'd have games. Yeah. When we go to tournaments, it's a vacation for everyone, and that was pretty much our whole youth.
Sticking on the high school and college side of this, fun fact or not, but you played football in high school?
I did, yeah.
Bro, I did not know that.
He does his research. No, I did. So youth soccer was messed up growing up. Bernie, I know you played academy, right? And he knows how you can't play high school and academy.
Dude, it sucked.
And so it just sucked because I played my freshman, sophomore year for Muskego, and we had a good team, like a really good team. We were losing to Marquette, who was winning state, or Kettle Moraine, who was getting to the state final. And we were young, so I'm like, it'd be nice to keep playing. But then I ended up making the decision, primarily because my brother and cousin, they were like different level just growing up in youth. My brother was on the U17 youth national team for the U.S., and my cousin was just tearing it up at youth, and they basically had to make a name for themselves. Like Wisconsin wasn't, it's unfortunate, but just Wisconsin didn't have the teams to showcase them. And so they decided to go to Chicago, and then I went with them, and I did good enough that there was a spot on the team for me.
You went to Magic?
I played for Magic, yeah.
Okay. So you guys smacked us, bro.
Yeah, Magic smacked. And so that's why I ended up going too, and so did my younger cousin. Went as well, and then I couldn't play high school, and I had a strong leg for kicking for some reason. I just remember I'd randomly do it, and I was like, why not just ask the high school coach? So I went and asked, and he's like, just show up to practice. We can always use a kicker. And I went, and then the first day they started calling me Pele. Pele, and then I joined in the middle of the season my junior year, and they had a kicker for field goals, even though they never kicked field goals. But I did kickoffs because I could kick it farther than him. And then my senior year, I was the main kicker. And every time I did a kickoff, they would play the song. It would just be like, ole, 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 and it would hype me up.
Now, I looked at your stats, obviously, in college, too. And what I was telling Bernie was that it's so impressive that instead of just, declining statistically, your statistics improved throughout the year. And by far, your senior year was, out of this, level that you see? Because you see sometimes players go on a decline. Sometimes because it's college.
It happens. It's tough to stay at high level all the time. It just really is.
Our question to you was like, what did you do to stay so focused and maintain that level?
Yeah, to be honest, probably the best thing that ever happened to me, which most people would hard to recover from. But when I first got to college, I made it a week into preseason. I tore my MCL my freshman year. Just boom, done. And I was like the fittest I ever was. Felt perfect for the season. And then I was out for 6-7 months after that. And I don't know, just that off season, I just really made me like work hard. And I just had a strong desire to get back on the field. And I just grew as a player after that. And I think I took that work ethic I learned there and applied it every off season. And it just really, I grew as a player every year, and I just kept pushing myself. And the funny thing is that you say my senior year, so my junior year was where I got Offensive Player of the Year for the conference. And then my senior year started, and I kind of had a slow start. Like teams were like double teaming me or just putting a guy to watch me. And I wasn't used to that, and it took me a little bit to adjust. And I remember I had a slow start. I think I missed a penalty in a crucial game. I had a header we could have scored that could have beat number 7 in the country. And I was just, I don't know, it was just a slow start. I wasn't playing bad, but it was just the goals weren't coming, and I felt like I was letting my team down.
It was more of an individual thing.
Yeah, we did start out. I remember we started out 1-3 my senior year and whatever to start the season, and I just really. I remember going and doing extra work to be like, what's going on? Come on, I can get out of this slump. And it ended up good thing I did. I just kept sticking with it. And eventually it came through. The goals started coming and the assists, and the team started winning. And we rallied from 1-3 start to, I think we won, I want to say 12 or 13 of our last 14 games. Shit. We ended up winning the regular season conference tournament, went to the NCAA tournament, and we lost on penalties first round. But it was just a remarkable run. Yeah, for my senior year, it was the best thing I could have asked for.
Question to you would be about that level, keeping it up. Was there anything in specific that you were doing your daily, day-to-day basis? It's going to sound dumb, I don't know, just saying eating 2 scrambled eggs a day. I don't know, something that you felt that you did in particular that made you perform better. For an example, me, till this day, I run 3 to 4 times a week. I have to run 4 miles in order to at least feel okay and feel like I can compete. And that's just something I do till this day. Was there something in specific that it could be weird, it could be something common, I don't know, that you can think of?
Well, the only thing I can think of is I stayed a little longer after trainings to do some finishing and whatnot. The funny thing is, most people would probably want to come before training so they can get out of it. I was right on time. I was late a lot to training, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That was my flaw in college. And it wasn't that I wasn't getting up on time. It was that the people I'd lived with, we would always leave together, and I'd be ready, and then someone wouldn't, and I didn't want to leave them. So I would be late, and I know people would get mad if I leave, and they'd be like, "You left without me," and so whatever. I just wasn't a practical matter to get there on time. But I ended up. I would stay after. A few of the teammates of me would stay, do some finishing, 15, 20 minutes. I think the extra touches it just really adds up over time, especially if you're doing it every day when you're training all week. So
it's very important how little things even getting, this is gonna sound very minimal, but even getting 10 touches after practice just to perfect it little by little, it really does make you a better person in the long run.
It does. Even just little juggling, put some cones down. Any touches you're getting on the ball, you just get more comfortable, and definitely builds, especially at that level. It's the inches that make a difference. 1% difference can be the difference of winning conference or losing.
So, a quick question that I like to touch on, the topic is the educational side. What was it from high school? They say you went to Muskego. What was it in high school? Did you find any resources to go to college? Who saw you? What camps did you do? What, this and that? Kind of explain your process going into it.
Yeah, the interesting thing, so my college soccer, recruiting experience it's honestly probably pretty similar to what a lot of people experience nowadays I thought I did well enough, and a lot of things was that my brother, like a lot of people knew my brother and kind of mistook us. They'd see my name and like Leki, Luka. They would think it's just a mistake or something and think it's the same person. Yeah. And I don't know, like I didn't get as many like interest or as much interest as I thought I would or should be getting just based on like what I was doing and seeing the people around me. Yep. And so I kind of started reaching out more because it wasn't really coming. And I went to some camps. Like I went to specifically Green Bay. I remember that was like the first team. I would go to Marquette camps, UWM, and like UWM just didn't seem to have any interest in me. My brother committed to Marquette his sophomore year of high school, so like a lot of and like I remember my dad would talk about Trask was at Madison. He when he was a Madison coach, he told my dad like, oh, like why didn't you wait? Like maybe I could have worked like a package deal for like both your sons or something. Yeah. But my brother committed early to Marquette. They really wanted him. He liked Marquette.
As a sophomore?
And, yeah.
I didn't even know what I wanted for dinner as a sophomore.
You're all crazy in his 1 year because he was with the U17 youth national team and he's getting like letters from UCLA to our house and stuff.
Crazy.
And like every school is just sending them like letters like just like we're watching you like whatever. And so for me, but for me, so I just tried to go to camps and just reached out to people I knew. And like I talked to Marquette a little bit and they were really keen on my brother. And the thing is they kind of said like, yeah, like, you know, well, like they would take me, but it's like they didn't know how it would work with like me and my brother. And, you know, I wasn't really getting any scholarship either, any of that stuff. So I wanted to kind of make a name for myself, go away from that anyway. So like I didn't really talk to them much. But Green Bay, I went to the camp. The coach really liked me. I was supposed to go on a visit there. And then he called me and he resigned. And he ended up taking a director of coaching job in North Carolina or somewhere. Oh, damn. And then kind of my friend at Muskego, he was in the same boat talking to Green Bay, and he ended up still going there. He went and met the new coach and talked to him and ended up committing there. But I always said I never wanted to go to a place where the coach didn't believe in me or the coach I didn't know. And so I had one last chance. I remember going to Academy Showcase in Florida with Magic, and I just sent some messages to coaches, had a few people come watch me, and it was kind of a bummer because a few of them said like, oh, like we really liked you actually played really well, but we don't really have any more spots open like with scholarship or whatever, so we can't offer you anything but maybe a roster spot, some team said. And it just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I wanted to go to a place where I was just like another guy. I wanted to go somewhere where they had plans for me. And my dad knew Coach Jason Zitsky at Parkside. And I heard Boyan, if you know, short Boyan. He played there. He was an All-American, and he's kind of...
Zoran too, right?
Zoran too. A few Serbians, Nemanja went there too. But I think the big thing was Boyan. Everyone talked about how good of a player he was, and he was All-American there and just absolutely tore it up. And so I talked to him a little bit, and he's like, yeah, like Parkside's a good place. And my dad talked to Zitsky. He came to watch me funny at like the Friday Night League a few times. But when you were playing, I think you were my goalie. Yeah, the yellow team we wore. He came a few times to watch me, and he really liked me. And, you know, he offered me a scholarship, which was amazing for me just to get that. And I could tell right away he had plans for me and believed in me. And I think that was a big thing that helped me throughout my college career, especially when you say why I didn't have any dip in my stats. I think just when I had the rough patches, I knew I had a coach that believed in me and wasn't going to take me out just because I had a little rough patch.
That's important.
And I think, that's like key. Go to a place. I tell all the young kids nowadays, it's like, don't go somewhere just because it's D1, just because they're offering you a spot. Like, go somewhere where the coach actually believes in you and you feel like it's a right fit. Because sometimes the soccer's not going to go well. You're going to have slumps. You're going to have bad patches. And if everything else, you went there only for soccer and the coach isn't the greatest, it's going to be rough and you're going to want to leave. So really do your homework and make the right decision.
Because we can translate that to, like, let's say a professional player. You have a huge club trying to sign you, and you have this, you know, not as huge club trying to sign you. And you might not be guaranteed a spot in that huge club, while this, you know, lower club is trying to sign you but build around you and have a plan for you, like you said.
Exactly.
And it all works well for you that way.
Yeah. I think it worked out for you.
I have no idea. It's funny, too. Even, like, after my sophomore year, Marquette was having some struggles with their like right back position, and my brother was on the team, and he was like, "You should come, whatever." And like the coaches were liked me and stuff. But I was just like, I like it at Parkside. Why am I going to switch now? And the team at Marquette was kind of like, they were good. They were just like middle of the pack. But I'm like, I kind of like it. You know, all my like guys and my boys here at Parkside. The cool thing is that like I said, I had a good relationship with the coach, so he like believed me on player recruiting, and I literally brought Petar, I brought my cousin, and we're like, his brother, we got to bring in. We kept bringing Serbians, and just I got my other cousins to come, and literally all the Serbians that I know, I'm like, they're good players, coach.
I'm telling you, the Serbian community is like this.
Yeah, we literally got, I think at one point we had, I want to say at least 8. There could have been 9 Serbians on the team when I was a senior at Parkside.
That's crazy.
And now he comes to me. He was at the tournament this weekend, and he was like, "We've got a couple more younger Serbians now." He said he has one on the team now. He's got one coming in next year. That they're both from Milwaukee, and he's like, "Oh, we're keeping that Serbian pipeline going." So I'm always trying to send him at least like a Serbian if I see one.
That's good.
The team. It's funny. The team that. Miguel's team lost to your team.
My team.
Yeah. There was a guy on their team that actually wants to go to Parkside. He has like longer hair. He's in high school, one of their guys.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was telling
they're pretty good.
Yeah, I was telling Zitsky, I'm like, to get this guy. So he's like, I'll take another Serbian. It's worked well for me. He's like, it's worked well so far.
A great difference that I noticed as well was that you showed initiative. Like you mentioned that showcase in Florida, you said. You were sending out emails.
You have to.
And you wouldn't see that from a lot of these kids because they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. And I think that shows that you actually want it, you know?
Yeah, and I had the same. I think a lot of kids, it's these movies and TV shows nowadays, they kind of mess everyone's perception of
social media.
What actually recruiting is like. Like you're going to have your blue chip recruits, the best, you know? Those people, it's going to be easy. They're going to get offers from UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina, wherever. And then you have like the middle people that it's like a coach sees you and likes you, but there's so many people to watch that you're not everyone's gonna get seen, and so you gotta start going to camps early. Find schools you want to go to, and the worst thing is you go there and tell them to look at you, and the worst thing they can say is, like we don't see you in our plans, and then you can cross them off and go to the next school. And if you're not reaching out, they're not gonna come watch you unless it's just by chance, and then I don't think you want to put your future to chance, especially if you want to play college soccer.
Also, you mentioned the Serbian club. Like an example is the WSL and UPSL, the men's, not just playing high school or college, but you guys also stay competitive in the men's category as well. Can you talk a little bit more about what the men's club is, where you guys play, where they can find you if somebody wants to try it? I don't know, any information out there for it.
No, for sure. So we're called United Serbian Soccer Club Milwaukee. I'm actually a player on the team, and I'm vice president of the soccer club. So we play on, I want to say it's 51st in Oklahoma, the Serbian church. There's a field behind the school there.
Nice field.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably, besides obviously Marquette's grass field, they spend so much money on it, and then you got Madison's for UW-Madison. I'd say ours is probably the 3rd best in the state.
It's really nice.
Everyone else has turf now, so it's like not much grass. But yeah, come check it out. Really nice grass field. We spend a lot of money on it in recent years. So definitely come check that out this summer. And so the team, we were founded in 1964. It's funny. So my dad played back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. My grandpa coached my dad. The team's it's funny. My dad's the coach of the team now. My grandpa coached when my dad played. Maybe I'll coach the team one day. We'll see.
I think keep
the tradition going. But yeah, we stay competitive. We have, I'd say it's like our team is about 75-80% Serbian. And then what we like to do is we invite everyone that's cool with us, we tell them to come train, come check it out, see if you like it. And we kind of weed out people to see who's a good fit.
Yeah.
You know, the people that because what we are, I think what separates us from other teams is, you have your Bavarians, you have your Brewers, which they have great players on their team. But I think the difference between us is we have good players, we train hard, but we also hang out as a team after. After games, we have a bar we run with beer and stuff, and we'll get beer for the players. Whoever wants to, we'll have food. Yeah. And so like we like to stick around and hang out and keep like the culture going. It's not just field guys and everyone goes home and does their thing. It's more about keeping the people around, building good team chemistry and
that family.
Yeah, and I think it helps us on the field too. Especially last year, we played WSL. This year we're taking a break from UPSL just because in recent years we've had some weddings and stuff, which was unfortunate. With 80% of our team being Serbian, we had a key wedding that happened during UPSL playoffs where we had to forfeit our last game, and then we didn't. Yeah, because Rade got married, and literally 6 out of our 11 in the starting lineup were standing up in the wedding, and so it's like no one could play. So we'll see. This year we're gonna focus on Amateur Cup, which is what Bavarians have, I think, 9 national championships in now. And so we lost to them last year in the semi. We had a good run. We started in the first round. We ended up beating Chicago House, who ended up beating Forward Madison, a professional team.
Yep.
And so we beat them in the first round of the Amateur Cup. I think we played, Edgewater Castle after that from Chicago, and then we ended up having to go to Detroit, beat Inter Detroit, and then we had a home game against Bavarians, which I think we had like 700 people show up to St. Sava. The field, it was crazy environment. Unlucky, we ended up losing 2-1. I think we had a few posts and stuff, but it was a really good game. And so we're excited this year, have another run. Maybe we'll get farther. Hopefully we can win the Midwest region this year. But and WSL, We've been well. We lost in the final last summer to Bavarians, so hopefully, and both were 2-1 games. So hopefully this year our luck will turn and we'll get both of them this year. But come check us out. If anyone wants to play, reach out to me on Instagram. Let you know about the training times.
Friday leagues. How long has that been going on for?
So the Friday night league, it's actually been crazy. So just for no one that knows, so we have a league where the Serbian tournament just was on Friday nights in our gym. And I remember when I was a little kid, probably like 6 years old, my dad would play in it and some of the guys, and I would go and watch. And there used to be like 15 teams. It used to be crazy. And I don't know what happened, but it just kind of slowed down and the teams dropped off. And then I know I started playing, and then Bernie was on my team.
We were pretty good.
We had a good team with
we won a lot of championships.
We won. It was Austin Barhoppers. They had a good team. But so the Friday night league, and then it kind of slowed down. People stopped showing up, and we took a year off. And then now I was like, as a board, I was like, let's bring it back. Like, I think there's an interest. We'll talk to like Miguel, Bernie, all these guys. They can get at least 1 or 2 Mexican teams. I know we can get like 1 or 2 American teams. Then we can make Serbian teams. And it ended up working out. We got 9 teams this year, and it's 9 solid teams. We get good games.
Every game is good. That's the cool thing about it. It's not like sometimes in these Mexican leagues, like I ain't talking shit. I mean, you've seen it. Sometimes you show up and
you never know.
You won like 12-0.
You never know what you're going to get.
But here, it's like, it's pretty fun. Like the Friday league, it's fun. It's a Friday night. You're done playing soccer. For people that drink, they can have a brew. If they have their friends there, they can have their shits and giggles after right there in the basketball court. Like you say, you have that little bar sometimes open too.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy it a lot. For anyone that's like I see a lot of Serbian young kids playing there too. Yeah, which they look like they're in high school, like a high school team. So any age range, it's pretty cool to go. People sometimes just go to watch. Like there's like a lot of Mexican old bugs that they're like, oh, what time do you guys play? And they'll just go to the gym and watch the game because it's good, It's fun.
No, definitely. And it's cool at least to see now we have some young Serbian teams coming through. We have some high school kids, which I'm hopeful they'll stick with it and keep playing and then eventually make their way to the majors team. But it helps the league. It helps, everyone get to keep playing, and that's what we want to see. I know Bernie's been playing. He's been probably playing in the league longer than me.
I've been playing. You know who invited me? I think it was Zoran, because he was, no, was it?
Probably was him.
I think.
How did you? Yeah, you were like good with Zoran.
But I became good friends. Well, I'm good friends with all you guys now because like you guys are always like super nice to me and stuff.
Now he's even going to Vegas.
Yeah, now he's always for the Vegas tournament.
Bro, I'm trying to think how I know Choco was the other Mexican on the team, which everybody fucking knows him. Shout out to Choco. But I'm trying to figure out how I started playing with him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just showed up. He called me, knew I was coming up. I was like a junior or senior, and he's like, come play.
Yeah, we were young because I remember the other day I posted a I had a picture on Facebook. You have no beard.
I'm like a little kid.
Yeah, I'm like 30 pounds like lighter. Everybody in the picture looks way younger compared
I'm
to today.
still not like a big guy, but I think I was like 130 pounds.
Yeah,
then.
dude,
I'm like
look
160
young,
now.
bro. Yeah, it's been pretty good.
The playoffs are coming up soon. I think we'll probably try and play as much as we can. That's the thing about it. The thing about it is so I'm part of running it, in charge of the league, and we just talk to the teams and say, do you guys want to keep playing? How long do you want to play? And we kind of formulate and figure out the league like that. So it seems like everyone wants to keep playing. So the playoffs will probably start maybe like a month or so, but
they're going to be good.
Yeah, we got right after the tournament now. This Friday, we're starting again. I know.
Did he say the word tournament?
I heard tournament. I think we should transition up to that tournament we just witnessed.
We heard tournament, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
It kind of, I don't know. It lifted me up a little.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, every year, in that same church gym that we're talking about, we have the annual. Again, sorry about mispronounce it. Mala Sriviada. Sriviada. Okay. And which that stands for?
It's like the mini. So the Sriviada is a outdoor tournament. It's literally every Serbian team in North America, and so it switches where it goes. And Sriviada is like the big one, and then Mala just means like mini. Like small, smaller Sriviada.
I did not know that.
So yeah, it's like the smaller version of the big one, and that's outdoor. So, but this one's indoor.
I see. I'm always looking forward to this tournament, and a big reason why is because of the intensity that it holds. Not just like the quality of football that is held, but it's the intensity. And one thing that ties to it a lot is the Serbian culture. What I notice that is a big difference from maybe the Mexican leagues or Mexican tournaments, wherever, it's really the hype, the intensity that you feel in there. It's like you're surrounded by people standing, sitting.
Exactly. Yes. I think that's what separates that tournament from every other tournament I've played in, is how the bleachers are set up, that you're like on top of the players.
Yes.
And it's just this cool like battle arena.
It's like you have people literally standing on the out of bounds line.
There's no place to sit. People have to stand, bro.
Yeah, and this year I saw people bring in chairs. I saw people bring in lawn chairs. Yeah, that's insane. But no, this year was a really good one. Shout out to the team that won it, which is they're from Chicago, right?
Yeah. Monte Carlo.
Bro,
that sounds like a trucking company. No, so actually my team won it last year, but
I don't
know why last year they just didn't enter. I don't know why, but their guys played just on different teams, but they didn't. They just didn't have their own team, and then. They have a solid team. All those guys played like some of them played pro in Europe, futsal, and like all of them played small-sided or indoor soccer, and you can just see how they play. It's different than everyone else.
How I see this tournament was my team before our first game. We got in your little huddle you talk. I literally told this to like the newer kids playing on our team. I was like, bro, this is the best indoor futsal tournament you're gonna play in the state in the whole year.
It really is.
Enjoy it. So that's literally what I told some kids on our team that haven't played it before or were there for the first time or whatever. Like I was like, dude, this is it, bro. Like if you love especially in Wisconsin, we play a lot of indoor.
Yeah, you have,
bro. This is the one. Like this is the one to show up. This is the one where if you score a banger, everyone's gonna be like, this is it, bro. And I love participating every year. It's so fun. Even there's upsets like us that we were the first place in the regular stage and we lost in the round of 16. You guys were the champions. You guys dude, it's just all over the place, bro. I love it, bro. And I'm not even mad. I was kind of pissed that we lost, but at the end of the day, bro, it's just the experience. It's nothing like it in the whole state of Wisconsin.
It really is. I think it's the best tournament in Wisconsin for sure.
And I want to say, like, congrats to you guys, to your community for like building something like that, dude. Because like people are doing tournaments left and right every day of the week, and nobody can hit that exact tournament like you guys do, bro. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. I don't know
it's not
how you're planning exactly, bro. But
it's not easy.
You guys are doing the right thing when it comes to that, man. Kudos.
Thanks. It's the thing about for me is like I love playing the playing aspect, but it just becomes like just so much wear and tear on my body because I got to play, and then I don't know if you see, I'm running around. People are spilling on the gym floor. I got to be cleaning it up, and then I'm getting calls like we're running out of. What was it? We're running out of Stella at the bar. We gotta go get more. And I'm like, what do you mean we're running out? And then I'm inputting scores. Then I got some guys coming yelling at me about the refs, and I'm just dealing with so much that we can. But I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I just think we're hoping every year, we can expand it even more somehow. Like this year was the first year. What we try and do is, because it makes it more interesting, like if you saw, we had a round of 16 for the playoffs this year instead of 12 teams, with some teams getting byes. So we tried to make as many teams advance just to kind of let people play through Sunday. And it also creates a cool, round of 16 bracket to the final on Sunday. Good. And the thing is, if we can get more, the tricky thing in the scheduling, because I've been doing it now, I think 3 or 4 years now, I've been like in charge of scheduling and helping get the teams. The thing is like, if you see the groups, like we would love to have it where like everyone, we could just kind of like, seed teams from the year before and then just kind of randomly based on or whatever, which would be cool, and do a live draw. We always talk about doing that, just kind of on Facebook to get people to see. But the problem is with scheduling, we only have so many time slots, and we start on Friday, and we need Milwaukee teams to cover the time slots. And on Friday, and some teams from out of state can't play. And so maybe, I don't know, if we get more Milwaukee teams, we could maybe even start it Thursday one year and just get like 32 teams.
Those teams that are out of state, do you guys keep in touch with them like year round, or is it just like, hey, tournaments coming up, are you participating?
So yeah, that's a cool thing about the Serbian community is, so kind of like how we have a team here. Every team's a little different. Some teams are bigger and have a big community like us. Other teams don't have that, and just maybe have like a field where they play in whatever their state league. So like we're really good with Cleveland, Karađorđe, which is like United Serbian version of Cleveland, and they have a tournament every Memorial Day that's outdoor, and we'll go to their tournament. They'll come to ours. I know Bernie came with us to the Vegas Serves tournament. They said next year they're going to come to ours. There's teams on the West Coast, but they, I guess, just don't travel. They don't even play in the big ones, some of those. But a lot of those teams, what used to happen when I was in college, in the summers, they would have tournaments, like 4v4 outdoor tournaments. We would go to theirs, they would come to ours. And now a lot of them stopped hosting because it is a lot of work, I think, and just that they'd rather just play. But that's how we kind of met all those teams. So we stay in touch with them. They invite us to whenever they have events and stuff, and we'll do the same. And that's how pretty much all the Serbian teams that come from out of state, it's like kind of a relationship we've built with them where when they have stuff, they send it to us and we send them what we have.
Yeah, that was one of the points that I had here, where it's not just where you guys focus on Milwaukee, but you guys also try to carry some type of a base team around outside of the state of Wisconsin. So I know I've gone to play with you guys to Chicago. You guys invited me to Vegas. You mentioned Ohio. I think Goran did earlier today. He had invited me to a 7v7 tournament in Chicago.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't go because I have a birthday party. But it's just little things like that, which is pretty cool that you guys do. That you guys keep somewhat a base of players, and you guys are not just here, but you're also like, the Mandarina in Milwaukee. Like they're gonna be here. Like stuff like that's pretty cool to see. Like a team to keep going and just like keep going after it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's because all of us, we want to just keep playing competitively and wherever we can go to get that. And I think it's fun. And even Milwaukee's getting more. I know there's one I saw, I think Ruben's running it. That's like,
you guys are in it actually now.
Because he asked me about it, or Godzilla did, Goran, about it. And I said, just sign us up. Like, we'll make it work. Why not? It's at Brookfield, I think.
Yeah, something I've noticed, quick to recap on that also, is how the Mexicans are starting to go into your guys' events, like Friday Leagues, that annual tournament, but you guys are showing the love back by coming to our Sunday league with Ruben, and then we have this weekend tournament coming up in Brookfield, and you guys are like officially confirmed too. So it's really cool to see how well the Mexican community and the Serbian community in the city are getting along very well, and that makes me very happy because, bro, I would have never thought like I know Serbian friends, or I went to Vegas to play with Serbian people, or I went to Chicago, but it's just soccer at the end of the day, football, like it's so cool, right? Like how it can
connect people,
open doors to people, dude. Like I when it comes to soccer, like I say, like it's kind of my life in a way.
It really is.
I don't want to make it sound like corny or nothing, but it really is.
It is. It's everything you do. You know, your free time, you're just something about soccer. And I know a lot of the Serbian people are in the community, especially with the tournament, you know, a lot of Mexicans, and we're meeting more and more, like every year, like this year especially, I was going around, like I'd talk to Asael, talk to you, talk to whatever, I'd just be meeting more and more people that I'd see them around at either complex or wherever, I just didn't know who they were, but now I'm getting introduced, and a lot of people are saying it's like Serbs and Mexicans were like the same people, like same
dude, I have this here, bro.
Literally, a lot of people are saying that, like it was like, we like party the same, we have a good time, like family. We play our game. Like you'll see the difference between these, like just like strictly like American or whatever. They'll play their soccer games. They're on their way. But like I go to the complex, whatever, Mexicans, they play their game. They're hanging out, having drinks. We do the same. And then when we're at the Serbian, we're doing it together. It's awesome.
Speaking of post game, the culture that you guys have right after the tournament ends at night. You have everyone dancing, people taking shots.
Yeah, live music.
The environment there is like, it's really similar.
That's what connects. And then, like, at least with Serbian tournaments, the big thing is to have the live music, especially on the Saturday night. Like, we do it all 3 nights just because
live music not just regular, bro. No. Like, I've had to ask you guys because there'll be, like, a singer usually and someone in the piano going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But, bro, like, the people get on the seats and they start fucking singing with their heart out. Yeah. Dude, it's so fucking dope.
So you gotta have live music,
and it's jam-packed, dude.
This year was probably our best turnout that we've had, especially we had 20 teams in open, which I think we had 16 last year, and then we had 6 over 35, and this year we had 20 open, 6 over 35, so 26. We're going up every year. And the Friday night, I know, killed our alcohol stock because we had a big turnout. I saw a lot of, like, the Mexican community showed up even on Friday, which I was surprised. Yeah. I know they usually always came on Sunday for the playoffs, but people showed up on Friday, and even Serbian and everyone.
People were asking me left and right since, like, the Monday before, like, what time do you guys play and this and that. Like, they were just ready to go.
Yeah, we posted a preview on the Instagram story, and I had like a couple people reach out to like, hey, what time, blah, 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 and I sent them a screenshot of the whole schedule, like, oh yeah, we'll definitely
that's what I love to see that, because, like, you know, every year I'm hoping we can keep growing the tournament, and you know,
I'm sure we'll
it's fun to watch, right? That's why even with, I don't know if we want to talk about Tate, you know, so like I probably talk,
go ahead,
but like, so the tournament even attracted a film producer, a guy that does that for a living. He teaches at UWM, and someone told him about the tournament. He came and watched it one year, and then the next year he came and pitched us an idea of how he's literally a film producer and he wants to create this documentary type movie. He didn't know exactly where it was going to go, but he wanted to film. Then he filmed it, and he said he picked some people, which is funny. Bernie ended up being one. I was one. And he picked random people that he said he thought was interesting or they played well or whatever. And then all of a sudden he said he started reaching out for interviews, and then everyone's like, yeah, I got practice or I got this. Then he found out that there was a United Serbian team, and he ended up following us in the Serbian community. And then he also followed in just like passion of soccer. So he's like talking to Netflix, talking to like, I don't know, Paramount, I don't know who, but he's been filming for a while. He's followed us to Detroit for our majors team. He's filming this tournament. I don't know.
He went to Vegas.
Yeah, he went to Vegas. Bro. For the people that were at the tournament, you see he had a full camera crew on Sunday just running around filming. And he said he's trying to, it might be a 3-part docu-series on, one part on the tournament, one part on our United Serbian team, and then a third part just on like passion for soccer. So it'll be cool when it comes out. I know Bernie and I did interviews, so whatever we're on there, it'll be cool to see. So
let me ask you, Bernie, as a non-Serbian that has traveled with these guys and whatnot, what similarities aside from like the partying and stuff like that do you see between Mexicans and?
I think it's like the unity they have. We have the same thing. It's like Everyone gets along together. When somebody needs a hand, you know how we're always like very like lo que necesitas, which means whatever you want. I see that with you guys. Like I said, the drinking, the partying. You guys probably drink more Corona than us now. It's very family based oriented. We're very religious in our own way. They're very religious in their way. That kind of connects them. That kind of connects us. And it's just everything like. They're basically like the Serbian Mexican, like the Mexicans of Europe.
That's what everyone's been saying. It's like we have very similarity. Like we do things similarly in our own way. You know what I mean? Serbs and Mexicans. So it's cool.
Yeah. You mentioned certain people tied around you that went pro or play at a high level. The two people I can primarily think of is your brother Luka, that's in the Chicago Fire, and Andrea, which is he played in Serie A too, right? But he's playing Serie A B right now?
He didn't play in Serie A. He played in, so he committed to Marquette, and then he signed for Reading in England. Okay. So he played for Reading in the championship, and then he went to Netherlands. They sent him on loan to this Telstar team. He scored like 20-some goals in a season. Then he signed for Fortuna Sittard in the Eredivisie, the first league, and he played against Ajax, all those teams, Feyenoord. And then he ended up going to Italy at Frosinone.
Yeah.
And
Venezia too, right?
Yeah, Frosinone. Then he signed for Venezia, and then now he's on loan to Lecco, which they're struggling right now, but he's been scoring some goals.
He was always good. And how about your brother? Because I know I remember playing. I'm a goalie. I remember playing against your brother in the Friday night league, bro. It was a bitch to fucking play against him because he was so good.
He loves it. It's funny. So yeah, my brother, he went to Marquette, got drafted to Houston Dynamo, then made his way to what is it called? RGV. They were called Rio Grande Valley Toros in the USL Championship. Went to Hartford Athletic, and now he's at Chicago Fire 2. So he's been a little injured as of late, but he's been training with the first team and trying to make that jump to like get some minutes and serious time with the first team. So
for whatever reason, if you guys see this, good luck to you guys in your careers, to both Luka and Andrea, but not just them. I just don't want to separate them from you because I also want to give you the props, bro, because I think with all these accomplishments, you probably could have went pro. Life works in mysterious ways. Everybody does their own things. But at the end of the day, to this day, right now, from what I've seen, you still got the talent. You still got the fucking huevos, like, to play. Like, you're very talented. You don't come off short at all when it comes to talent with these guys, with your family that made it pro. I think you could also made it pro. I just wanted to say good luck to whatever you're doing. I know you're going to Marquette actually right now, and you're gonna finish school to be a lawyer. Gruber Law, watch out because these guys coming. Kudos to you. Dude, it's nice to see that. I always say if you could further your education. Some people can and can't, but I'm just happy for what you've done, what your family's done, what your community's doing, and I hope it all keeps rolling. The last thing I had before we finish this podcast from my part, whatever you want to say, and then you could finish it off as well, is we asked you to bring items to the table to what they connect to you, what they represent to you, what characterizes to you. I see you have some type of plaque and a jersey. You want to talk about it?
We can talk about it. So, first thing I guess I'll talk about is my Offensive Player of the Year from 2018 trophy. It was the first time that I actually got like a single, player award, which I was very honored and very happy. I put in the work, and it was just a very proud moment for me personally in my career as a college soccer player. And I think from there, it just kind of helped boost me. And it's just one thing I look back at that I worked so hard for. I wanted the team success, but it's also nice to be recognized as an individual. It's always nice to have. So that was a proud moment in me. And then, of course, I had to bring, which is the lifeblood of me now. I'm on the board. I'm a player, our United Serbian Soccer Club team. So it's really everything I work for now. Between I go to practice or I have board meetings, and we're constantly trying to make the club better and better. Maybe one day soon we got plans for lights if the neighbors will let us. Maybe
that's cool.
So we'll see.
That'd be good.
And we're working on sponsors and everything. And the cool thing is this year for I guess the last thing I'll say on my end is that this year, so you guys have all heard about the Mala Serbiada, which we're hosting for the first time in the last, or 10 years ago was the last time we did it. We're hosting the big one in Milwaukee this year.
Really?
So Labor Day weekend, it'll be in Milwaukee.
Exclusive, you heard it.
So come check it out.
Reach out, and you heard it here first.
Reach it out, come check it out, and you'll see the interesting thing about it is, so in that one, you're only allowed to have 3 non-Serbian players between every
Nice.
team. So
Dude, that's
it's
cool.
strictly like they try to keep it as much Serbian as you can.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
one, it's a little different. But yeah, it should be a big turnout. We're excited for it, and come through, check it out.
Anything else you want to say?
I was
before-
actually going to ask him about that to close out, but again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, it was a really good one this time, and to have you here it's an honor to speak about the Serbian community. Hope it keeps growing. Hope that tournament every year keeps growing as well, and good luck to everything you're doing as well.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell them where to find you on social media, where to follow you.
Definitely. Well, you can, if you want to follow me, Leki Prpa 11 on Instagram, and then on United Serbians on Instagram is USSCMKE. Give us a follow and check us out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, guys, for your time. This has been your new episode, MilGoalKee Podcast.
Remember to like, download wherever you get your podcast. Do your thing. Leave stupid comments, hate comments, lovely comments,
Everything.
anything, whatever you want.
Show these guys support.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
People just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, want more and more.